standing outside the Unitarian Universalist Church of Roanoke, about to meet with Delegate Sam Rasoul. Delegate Rasoul represents the 11th House District in the Virginia House of Delegates, and today he is here enjoying a teen peace jam with some of the young people he represents. Sam was raised right here in the Star City and is known as a focused and passionate elected official. He's also an active board member and volunteer with many nonprofit organizations in the Roanoke Valley. He has over 17 years of business experience as a former chief financial officer and chief operating officer of a healthcare company. He shares that experience in his business consulting firm, Vigor. Sam and his wife, Laylee, have 3 children, Jenna, Amira, and Issa. It's my pleasure to introduce Delegate Sam Rasoul and to ask him 3 questions. Thank you so much for meeting with me today, Mr. Rasoul. This month, you returned from Richmond, where you served in the session of the House of Delegates. In this session, they considered new laws, programs, and budgets for the coming year. In my research, I came across something I wanted to ask you about. Not just in Virginia, but across the country, there are states making laws that target gay people, same-sex couples, and transgendered people. How do you feel about this trend?
Well, it's unfortunate that I believe a lot of that's unconstitutional. You know, we have a constitution that protects equality, and all too often we see the hyper-politicized issues that really encourage discrimination. And I think that we need to aggressively target any type of discrimination against people from all walks of life. And so I'm going to continue to push against that kind of legislation.
You gave a speech on the floor in Richmond, which has been watched hundreds of thousands of times on Facebook and YouTube. In the speech, you spoke as a Muslim American son of Palestinian immigrants. You spoke out against ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and all terrorism while reminding lawmakers that these terrorist groups do not speak for your faith. How do you address the fear people have about terrorism and the way it has affected some people's view of the religion Islam?
Well, it's rather unfortunate. You know, we have 1.5 billion people in the world. That means 1 in every 5 people in this world are actually Muslims. And what happens is all too often we see one bad thing that someone has done and try to characterize 1 in every 5 people. I think that that's not fair. So what we need to do is realize that there are people from all walks of life, both good and bad, and we need to unite those of goodwill against those that wish to harm us and do bad. And at the same time, the speech was about countering ignorance, and that ignorance is really what tends to divide us. So I hope we can do more, as I'm doing today here at the Teen Peace Jam, to really counter that ignorance.
Late last year, people were upset about a statement made by the Roanoke mayor about the Syrian refugee crisis. Mayor Bauer's statement compared these refugees to the Japanese American people who were sent to prison camps in America during World War II. That week, you helped organize the Real Roanoke Rally Against Terrorism and for Humanity here at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Roanoke. That night, my family and I were here when you and the other speakers talked about the real Roanoke. What is the real Roanoke to you?
Well, it's pretty cool to be right back here where Real Roanoke Rally was held. It's unfortunate that those statements were made, but the real Roanoke is a Roanoke that elected a guy last name Rasoul. The real Roanoke is a Roanoke that has 105 different nationalities represented, and the real Roanoke is a Roanoke where people are coming together and building not just an economy, but a community that really allows all of us to grow and thrive. So it's pretty cool to be part of the real Roanoke, and a testament to the real Roanoke is somebody like you being able to go out there and ask these questions.
Thank you so much for meeting me, Mr. Rasoul. I promised just 3 questions, but you're welcome to share your thoughts with our viewers before we say goodbye.
Well, you know, I hope that when you're big and famous, when AR3Q goes worldwide, that you'll remember us little people here in Roanoke. It's certainly a great opportunity to be able to share my thoughts with you, and I hope that we continue to see your AR3Qs online as it grows in the future.
Thank you. I want to thank Delegate Sam Rasoul for everything he does for our community and for meeting with me today. Roanoke, Virginia is a special place, and Sam Rasoul is an important leader of our generation. His unique background makes him a great representative of our region and the people of all faiths and perspectives. Sam is a Roanoke and American success story, still in his early chapters. Thank you for watching 3 Questions with Ava Rosa. I'll see you next time.
Teen Peace Jam, and I'd like to welcome you all. It's glad to see everybody here. It's really great.
He was elected into office on January 8, 2014, and is a big believer in positive messaging and service to humanity. Let's please welcome Delegate Sam Rasoul.
You know, us millennials, we're getting older, so now we get to talk with your generation. Did anybody know what your generation is called? No. Xers are older than millennials. There's Xers, millennials, which is Generation Y, and then after Y comes Z. Yes, you guys are Generation Z. And emotional intelligence actually is pretty interesting because you've heard of your IQ. There's something called your EQ, your emotional quotient, which tells you just how emotionally intelligent you are. And what they found in a broad study across every single industry is that the top performers, in no matter what industry it is, had high emotional intelligence. 90% of those with high emotional intelligence, there was a strong correlation with those top performers, way more than those that had very high IQs. And the heart of emotional intelligence is something called self-awareness. Your ability to be able to remove yourself, even second to second, from what is actually happening, is this self-awareness. And it's one of the most powerful tools you will ever have when you're trying to obtain this internal peace which is necessary to work on the external peace and the justice that this church is built on. Well, for many of us, we're addicted to something. We're addicted to being right. Just like people are addicted to drugs, addicted to cigarettes, addicted to alcohol, we actually literally have a chemical addiction to being right. You know, it's not enough to be right. You need to be able to get things done. The world needs you to get things done. And that's going to begin with getting you right. Acknowledging that mindful people in every age discover new insights. In every age. I'm glad that they put that in there. That he put that in there. Because this is an age right here. This is Generation Z. Generation Z, who I'm pleased to report right now, at least, is not falling asleep on me. So I really appreciate that. Has the task of jumping on this peace and justice train. The world really needs you. And needs you to be able to make a difference. When I was sitting in your seat, I actually didn't think that that was possible. I didn't really realize the power that each one of us has. You know, I would hear all these speeches, people like, you're special, you have a lot of power, you can get a lot done, you can change the world. People would say that all the time. And now I've actually learned that that power really resides within each and every one of us, and I'm a believer in that. We have made progress in the past, we can make progress in the future, but really only you, each and every one of you, can control how fast we make progress going forward. So I look forward to working with each and every one of you to be able to achieve that self-actualization of making this train go as fast as we can. Thank you so much for having me this morning.